Hello guys, it's MarkField13. Wanted to do this video real quick to show you guys what I've done here in Final Fantasy. If you notice, the layout of the UI is a lot different than all my other videos, and probably a lot different than anything you've seen. This is something similar that I'll play with in World of Warcraft or Rift. The idea is everything is hotkeyed, everything is bars that I can put stuff into. And one of the things I like the most about this game is that these bars here are static. These will stay with your character whenever you change. So let's come over here to my pugilist, switch over. Whoa, look at that. These are the exact same. Actually, it looks like these didn't change either, but these did. So here are your main abilities. These all changed. Change to conjure. These stay the same. So you can list all your stuff out here, and you've got access to all your different classes without having to change to each class and drag all this information out here. Same with these. You bind these to the number pads very quickly. Can pop potions for whatever I need to. And you can see here I moved the health bar and information up, so it's right there in the middle of my screen. That way I can see it whenever I'm looking at my character. Let's take a look here at my HUD, my HUD. So here's my target bar. My focus target bar, again, right in the middle of the screen where I can see it. Everything else is pretty much where it was before. I moved the duty list out so I can make room for my bars. One thing you'll notice, well, two things. One, everything's really small, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Secondly, all these bars are overlapping each other. I do that in order to be able to get the boxes right up next to each other. Otherwise, just these three bars would take up to up here, and I think that's kind of ridiculous. I want to be able to compact everything. Honestly, I'd like to be able to get rid of these numbers 5 and 6 and just take away that stuff. I want all my bars to fit in a section about that big. Any more than that, and I think they're taking up too much screen real estate. All I got to be able to see is this little bitty icon. I could probably shrink down the size of this by 50% and still know exactly what I'm casting and not have any issues. So I'd like to see that in the future, a way to shrink this a little bit further. However, let's say you've got your target bar and you've got it. This is the normal size right here. And to do this, you hold down Control and you press the Home key, and you can change the size of it. So you've only got 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. The default is the medium size. So everything here has been resized twice, going from large to small. So everything on here, I don't think there's any exceptions. Everything on here has been resized to the small. This one might not have changed. Yep, that's just because I don't use it. It's hidden. I don't use the cross hotbar. I think my minimap is also, yep, it is its smallest form. So I basically spent, I don't know, 30 minutes playing around with this, resizing everything and getting it where I wanted, and then another 15 minutes trying to get all these bars to fit as close as possible, and these as close as possible using the grid layout. And you can see stuff like my pet bar keeps getting moved over. So I don't have a pet for now, so I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how close to actually put it, and I'll resize it once, or I'll move it again once I get a pet. But one thing I do have is, along with this health bar in the middle, parameter bar, I also have my status effects right beneath it, and an experience bar beneath that. And what this lets me do is I can tell if I have any statuses in here or not. So if I were to activate a status, it'll pop up. I know if this area is empty, that I don't have any statuses on me. So there's my status bar, it goes all the way across. I can see it in the middle of my screen. I know exactly where it's at. I don't have any issues to worry about. Anyway, that's it for now. I would definitely suggest changing up things a little bit, because if you get 3 hotbars default, they stack up to this distance: 4, 5, 6, and actually, when you get all 6 bars, it takes up a screen state about this big. And to me, that's just ridiculous how 30% of your screen is dedicated to 6 hotbars. To me, that doesn't make any sense. So I just set it up, and I'm going to go out and actually play with it, make sure I like it. The only thing that I've done differently here is put all this information. Usually I see it up in the top corner with World of Warcraft or with Rift. So this being here is going to be a little bit different for me, but I can't wait to get into this combat and see how the target bar works out and how everything kind of flows together. I'm really looking forward to this. And that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time. As a quick side note, I did not discuss this in the earlier video, so I wanted to pin this on to make sure that I had the information out there. And this was actually something I only relatively recently discovered. Is if you hit K to bring up the character configuration, come down here to the second to the bottom icon is hotbar settings. And so here's where you can choose how to display that kind of stuff. You can also do that in the HUD. So if you go to HUD layout, if you right click it, that's what changes. Blue means it's hidden, white means it's not. But if you hit K, go to hotbar settings, you can change that stuff here. You can hide unassigned slots, that way you see just the bare minimum, which some people like that way it takes up even less real estate on your screen. I prefer to be able to see everything. But then there's a tab here for sharing, and this is where I was talking about earlier how these bars here are shared, and it actually turned out that hotbar 4, 5, and 6 were also shared, which is why I made a little comment on the video and I seemed a little surprised. I was not aware that these were also shared. I thought it was just these. However, what this lets you do is you can have customized hotbars of any of these. Any of these can be customized. You're not limited to just vertical ones if you want them to be shared. You can set up your number 1 hotbar as shared if you would like to. And then on your 1 you could have stuff like this where it's potions and food, that kind of stuff. So check it out. Come up here and set these things. I prefer to have these shared. I'm not used to having 4 hotbars over here, but I added it just for the hell of it. This 9th one, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I only need 2, one for my combat guys, one for my non-combat guys. And then I've got my important stuff like potions and that kind of stuff. Sprint. And then down here you've got all my abilities, and then these are supplementary things such as prospect, triangulate, that kind of stuff. And other like one-time high cooldown cast items can come over here. I know in Rift and World of Warcraft you had a bunch of items or abilities that would regenerate your mana completely, but it would take 5-minute cooldown, so there's no point in filling up a slot over here for normal combat. I decided to put it over here. So that's kind of what I have these reserved for. I'm also going to go over the settings that I have real quick here. 1 through 6 is standard. The next ones that I combined over here is control 1 through 6. Here, this is my shift 1 through 6. And up here is my alt 1 through 6. These are the most common ones: shift, alt, control, and plane keys. I don't like using 7, 8, 9, 0 because I can't reach over there. And I hate taking my right hand off the keyboard and putting it somewhere that I'm not familiar with. However, I do go a little bit extra, and I do control alt 1 through 6 and control shift 1 through 6. And each of these I kind of set up independent for the characters. This is going to be my AoE kind of setup. These are my normal damage. Here are my controlling abilities: Shadow Bind and Repelling Shot, and these are instant casts or finishers type. And these are kind of self buffs. So that's kind of how I decided to split it up. I do like having all the abilities you use. I don't like having a limited set, like 3 or 4, which is why I was not a huge fan of Guild Wars, because I didn't get to have access to all my abilities. This kind of changes per different characters. The Ranger has this kind of setup, but Mage, this may be healing, or a caster type, this may be healing, and this is control or crowd control. So they kind of move around. I learn it based on per character, and I memorize all my hotkeys, so I know individual character, every single ability for every character, hundreds of skills, and I can use any one of them, just jump into it. This has worked out for me really well in the past, and hopefully it'll work out pretty well in this. Over here is just other stuff that I'm going to click on, except for my emergency bars, because that's shared. This stuff is just, oh look, I can click over here to mount, or whatever the case is. Maybe I'll bind that to something. But that's it for now. I just wanted to show you guys this sharing setup and talk a little bit about the key bindings that I have. Oh, actually I completely forgot about these. This is numberpad 1 through 9, and then I've got 0 for my sprint. Here is alt 1 through 9, and this kind of pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then here's control, and here's control alt. You can't use control shift or alt shift, because anytime you hold down shift and you hit the number pad 1, for instance, it actually sends the end key. So unfortunately you can't use shift on that, so you don't get quite as many options, but this still gives me an additional 27 hotkeys that I can work with. And then I have 9 abilities over here, which are per character set up that I can just have as a click option. So if I wanted to put out like a certain pet with this character, I can put it down here because it's not important, don't need a hotkey for it, and I can just click it. But anyway, that's it for now. Sorry about the extension of the video. I did not include it in the first one. My apologies for that. But that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.